Hello, everyone. Welcome to the third part of the Python for Beginners series. Hi, my name is Richel. I'm a second-year grad student reading statistics at Miami University. And today, we'll be talking more about conditionals, if and else statements. Let's get into it.
So for today, by the time we are done, you would have learned how to make decisions using Python with if else, and else. We'll learn how to use conditional operators, greater than, less than. I know most of you have seen those symbols in our simple mathematics we did. And we'll learn how to combine multiple conditions. So we'll talk about and, or, and not. And we'll learn about the best practices for writing clean conditional codes. Let's get into it. So why does conditions matter? Why do we even have to learn this part of the beginners programming series? So actually, programs need to choose between different paths. So programs need this logic to be able to know, okay, so after doing this, this is what I have to do next. So imagine you want to write a programming or write a code where if someone gets a score between 80 to 100, they get an A, which is excellent. Between 70 to 80, they get a B. So, and you know it, going on. So conditionals help us to be able to achieve that. So we'll go into details talking about these different conditionals. So we are going to deal with a very basic conditional statement using if. So assuming we say, okay, let's assign the variable x to an integer 10. Then the conditional statement goes this way. If x is greater than 5, print x is greater than 5. So the conditional statement here is the if. The condition is that s should be greater than 5. The print statement, we are telling Python, okay, if this variable x, right, is greater than 5, that is the condition, spell out this. This is what you're supposed to do. So we are going to run this code and see how it works. So you see it told us x is greater than 5. Let me try an example, which is 2, and see how that comes out. So it didn't print anything. Why? Because x is equal to 2, which is less than 5. So we'll talk more about other conditions, other conditional statements. So you see here, we just highlighted on just the if. We didn't tell Python that, okay, now x is 2, which is less than 5. So this is what you should do when it's less than 5. We just gave it a condition for when it's greater than 5. So because of that, it didn't do anything when the value was less than 5. So let's move to the if else statement. So let's take the variable age and let's assign the value 16 to age. So this is how the condition goes. We are saying, oh, if this individual is more than 18 years, print out you're an adult, else you're a minor. So for the difference between this and this is that we are actually bringing out an else condition, meaning, okay, if the if statement or the if condition is not true, what should Python do? You are telling it how to think. You are giving it the thought process. So you are saying that, oh, okay, so if the variable age is not greater than 16, print out you're a minor. That's what the else statement means. So let's try this example. Let's run it and see how it works. So here you see age is 16 and 16 is less than 18. So it's going to spell out you're a minor. Let's try for a bigger age. Let me put down 30. So for 30, you're an adult because, yeah, 30 is more than 18, the age limit we set for it. So you see how conditionals is making programming very easy because it's helping us give the programming or give the language, that's Python, some thought process you wanted to be able to go through for you. So now we're going to look at the if, elif, and else. So what is elif? Elif is like else and if together. So let's look at how it works. So imagine you have a condition with a lot of else. Okay, so do this, if that, else do that, else do that, else do that, else do that. Do you get it? So if this, do that, else if, do this, else if. So instead of still saying else and coming to write an if statement, the Python the Python group just decided to come up with the word elif, which makes it easier than repeatedly doing else if, else if, else if. So we are going to do this basic one where if a score is greater than 90, print A. If a score is greater than 75, print B. So something like this, Python actually runs code in order. So it starts from the very first code, runs it before it moves to the next. So it's going to do this in order. So we assign a variable score to 85. So it's going to come here. Okay, is 85 greater than or equal to 90? Then it's going to print A. So if it's not true, we move to the next condition, which is elif. Okay, is this greater than or equal to 75? Oh yes, it is. So it's a B, and it stops there. It doesn't continue. That is how the conditional loop works. So let's run that and see. So you see it's a B, but what if the person had a 92 and you wanted it to be in a different range of grade? We are going to look at that example soon. Before that, let's look at what these comparison operators mean. So in Python, when you want to say something is exactly equal to something, instead of our normal equal to where we just use one equal, in Python we use two to say, oh, this is exactly equal to that. And for not equal to, we use the exclamation and the equal sign. Greater than, less than are symbols we are familiar with. Greater than or equal to looks, you just put a greater than and equal to sign. Same for the less or equal to. We are going to talk more about the logical operators. So when we use the logical operator AND, what does it mean? It's English, yes, but we are looking at it in terms of a programming word as AND. So when we use AND, what we are trying to say is, okay, this condition should be satisfied when both are true. So example, the student must be over 18 and enrolled to enter. So AND means that, okay, Python is going to let this program work if the student is 18 and enrolled. So it's going to look at these two conditions satisfying or being true before whatever it's supposed to execute is going to happen. We're going to look at examples, so don't worry. So for the or means one of them must be true, right? So example, you can buy a ticket if you're a student or a senior citizen. So if you're a senior citizen, yes, you can buy the ticket. If you're a student, you can buy the ticket. So one of them must be satisfied for all to work. But for AND, both conditions must be true. So we are going to look at the not. Not is like a reverse. So if the condition is true, putting a not before it just automatically makes it false. And if it's false, putting a not before it automatically makes it true. That is how the not operation works. Now, I've spoken so much. Let's get into examples. So, I'm going to assign the variable age to 20 and assign a student. That is just meaning, is this person a student or not? The Boolean true. And I'm going to write the condition. If age is less than 25 and a student, print discount applies. As I mentioned, AND means both conditions must be met. So Python is going to look, oh, age is 20. Is 20 less than 25? Yes, first condition met. Second, is student true? That means that a student, the person is a student, is true. So the person, age is less than 25 because the person is 20. A student is equal to true, meaning the person is a student. So yeah, both conditions are true. So AND is going to spell out true. So let's run that and see how that works. So you're saying print out true, that is discount applies. So it's true. Let's look at another example. We're going to assign the variable temperature to 30. And we're going to give the condition, okay, if temperature is less than 0 or temperature is greater than 25, print stay indoors. So 20, we're looking at example 30. So 30, is 30 less than 0? No. Is 30 greater than 25? Yes. But because one of the conditions is true and is met, Python is going to spell out stay indoors. So let's run that and see how that works. Stay indoors. Aha. Okay, so we are going to look at another example where we are going to assign a boolean to it. So it's raining is equal to false, right? So if not is raining, meaning I'm going to negate the false to what? A true. Anytime you put not, if it's a false, you put a not before, it becomes true. If it's true, you put a not before, it becomes false. So what are we saying? If not is raining, print go outside and play. So that means it's raining is false. Not then makes it true. So Python is going to spell out go outside and play. Let's run that. Oh, great. Okay, so now let's move into the indentation rules in Python. So for Python, you can just automatically use a tab when you're coding, or you can just be conscious to leave 4 spaces because indentation in Python is very important, especially this topic we are treating, that is the conditional statement. So mixing these tabs and spaces can produce errors as you're typing, but just be very careful about that. So let's try this example. I'm going to name the variable num and assign it to 5. So if num is greater than 0, print positive number. So you realize that print positive number, print still inside the if block, are all under the if block. So they are all under the condition num greater than 0. But if you look at this last print block, it's outside of the if statement. So it's not under the condition num greater than 0. That condition is still going to print even if num is not greater than 0 because it's not under that condition. Let's run it and see how it works. Yeah. So today we've learned a lot, I know. We've looked at the different conditional statements, if, elif, and else. We've looked at how you can use these comparative operators, greater than, less than, not equal to, equal to. We've looked at that. We've also looked at these logical operators, that is the and, or, and not. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Share with your friends. Comment down below what you want me to talk more about. If I'm moving fast, if I'm moving a bit slow, comment what you want me to talk more about, as in what I should delve in deeper. And also, if you check the link description, you're going to see the GitHub link directly to this code that I just went through. You're going to see a Medium post going in depth about what I just explained, and also you're going to be able to get back to me or reach me using the LinkedIn that I'm going to put down there. So let me know if you enjoyed the video, and thank you for watching. Please subscribe, share, and like. See you in the next video.